Let me know when we're on. We're live. Okay, welcome back to the NPPA Best of Photojournalism Still Photography. We are in the final category, Cliff Edom, New America. So I'm going to read the description because my mic is on. In urban communities and rural towns, the spirit of diversity is celebrated and witnessed in everyday life. Our goal is to recognize award-winning photographic storytelling that focuses on communities, diverse groups, and issues in America that are often undercovered in the media. Acknowledging the genius and effectiveness of Cliff Edom's vision, approach, and passion for teaching, we ask you to contribute your entries. Cliff Edom, 1907 to 1991, began his experimentation in photographic education in 1943. His purpose was to provide access to the community life of a small town and local communities for photographers so that they could hone and develop photojournalistic skills. So this image limit for this category is 24 images. Long-term stories up to 2 years are eligible. 50% of the images must have been taken in 2018. I'm not sure we have to get that deep in the weeds on this unless you have particular questions. So let's thumb through the contact sheets and then go in for a story description.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a reminder to those watching at home, we will narrow this down, and you'll have to see the rest on Tuesday when the results are announced.
So a story that's been entered in another category, like sports story, that can still be in here because it's a longer edit? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go into slideshow mode and hear the description for the entry.
Although Thomas Jefferson High School, known locally as TJ, is surrounded by the sprawling estates of one of the Dallas's wealthiest primary white neighborhoods, its student body is 94% Hispanic and 86% economically disadvantaged. Many of these students are immigrants, as Americans have spent the past year churning endlessly through fraught discussions of border walls, caravans, family separation, and MS-13. The TJ soccer players, several of them recent arrivals from Central America, have sought to balance their uncertain lives as undocumented immigrants with the normality and carefree joy of the American high school experience.
Thoughts on this initially? Does it continue?
It does not continue for me.
No.
Out.
Okay. So let's drop this down.
He is moody and unpredictable. He is easy to love, affectionate, and friendly. Vulnerable, sweet, devoted to family. Impulsive, strong, and overflowing with emotion. Dreaming of home, always. Never quite at home, anywhere. This is Connor Biskin, a puzzle his family and caregivers have worked long and hard to solve. A boy who lives at the intersection of autism and mental illness. It isn't so much a rare place, as many as half of autistic children suffer from mental health problems. The overlap between these afflictions is hard to untangle. Diagnosis and treatment can be very difficult.
This is out for me. Out.
Out.
Okay.
On November 5th, 2017, a gunman attacked the congregation at First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs in Texas. It resulted in the fifth deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. He killed 26 people, including children, an unborn baby, and wounded 20 others. In the months after the shooting, survivors and victims' family members held each other close, relying on their love for each other and faith in God to give them strength to heal. Determined to spread good after so much loss, they recited the Romans 12:21 verse, quote, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good," close quote.
Thoughts on this?
Out.
Out for me.
Out for me.
Out.
Okay.
For years, Buick hid the fact that she was transgender, a situation that was not allowed under U.S. military rules. In 2016, the Obama administration finalized a Department of Defense policy allowing transgender service members to serve openly. Buick, or Buck, I'm not quite sure, became the first at Offutt Air Force Base to transition under the new policy. Following a 2017 tweet from President Donald Trump, a White House policy limits service for transgender members of the military, making the future for transgender service members uncertain.
Can I see the first image again? In
And I should say, considering this category, it's okay to ask for captions at this point if you feel like you need some more information.
I wish there were more images.
Yeah, it's like the story is not complete.
Yeah. And so it's an out for me.
So I'm hearing one out.
I have to recuse myself.
Okay.
what?
Boiselle?
That's out for me too.
Michael?
Could I get a caption on number 10, please?
Of course. Ashley Buck's stepfather, John Huff, left, and mother, Patty Balderson Wright, comfort her after she wakes up from her gender confirmation surgery on March 26, 2018, at the University of Kansas Hospital in Kansas City, Kansas, USA. Quote, "For Buck, having a penis was something she felt never really fit with her and caused her constant distress. Following surgery, she said having a vagina is, quote, really exciting because it's something that I've wanted literally my entire life," close quote.
keep it for now.
New Orleans, the country's 49th largest city, is one of 9 U.S. cities with at least 100 murders in each of the past 49 years. Gun violence gives champion football coach Bryce Brown one mission: keep his players alive. The city has had more than 1,000 shootings in the past 2 years. Coach Brown has lost his father, his best friend, and a former football player to murder. Ronnie Jackson, this year's team captain, has 2 cousins who have been fatally shot. Quote, "I wasn't called for X's and O's," Brown says. "Our call is to save them."
Close quote. Dongi?
Out.
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 Okay.
Men who join the U.S. Armed Forces are being raped and sexually assaulted by their colleagues in record numbers. Men make up 42% of the estimated 14,900 sexual assaults in the U.S. military. With only a 4% conviction rate, it is no wonder that only 17% of male victims report sexual assault crimes or seek help. Many fear retaliation, demotion, or being kicked out of the military because they have seen it happen to others. Most male victims often take between 20 to 40 years to even acknowledge the crime or talk about the assault with family, friends, or therapists.
In.
And
Okay.
Taryn McLean lived 2 separate lives. As a civilian, he was a transgender man. In the military, he was trapped in an identity that didn't align with how he saw himself. In June 2016, the military announced it would allow transgender service members to serve openly and provide transgender-related medical treatment. Quote, "I felt like I could breathe because it didn't feel like I had to duck and dodge, fly under the radar anymore," close quote, Taryn said. As Taryn began to navigate uncharted territory, President Trump tweeted July 26, 2017, that he wanted to close the door on transgender military service.
Out.
It feels not complete.
Yeah.
It feels like I want to see more.
Out.
Out.
Okay.
Out of Bounds, Coming of Age in Gang Territory takes an intimate look at the effect of targeted policing and criminalization of minority youth in California's Central Valley. Combined with being labeled gang territory and suffering from generational exploitation, racism, and aggressive policing tactics, levels of incarceration of young black and brown boys here is extremely high, with most entering the system on charges as children. Once they are incarcerated, boys are not likely to earn freedom, the realities of surviving in jail often leading to violations that keep them locked up, eventually graduating them into the adult penal system.
Out.
Out. Can you scroll down, please? Out.
Okay.
Lola Munoz, 13, has lived the last 18 months as if they were her last, because they are. She is an extraordinary girl. As she faces the terminal conclusion of an untreatable brain cancer, she has lived every day to its fullest with the complete and utter support and encouragement from her family.
In.
Michael?
Just scroll down for me again, please. In.
Skip it.
Okay.
Corporal Manuel Jimenez always wanted to be a Marine since he grew up in the projects in Connecticut. He was a team leader in Marja, Afghanistan on August 1st, 2010, when an improvised explosive device buried in the road exploded right as Manny walked by it. It blew apart his arm, filled him with shrapnel, and almost severed his carotid artery. He spent 2 years at Walter Reed in recovery and returned to his home state to study. He has reached past the blast, the disappointment of having to leave the corpse, and the loss of his arm.
So wait, can I see the first pictures when he's from in the first 3 pictures? Does the caption say that's him?
Do you want me to read the captions?
Yeah.
For all 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Corporal Eric Hopp of 1st Platoon Fox Company, 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine, rushes to aid Corporal Manuel Jimenez seconds after an IED blast hit him while returning along Route Marcy from their patrol far into the northern area of their AO from their base near the Chorcherry Bazaar in West Marja, Helmand Province, Afghanistan, Sunday, August 1st, 2010. The blast cost Corporal Jimenez his left arm and peppered him with shrapnel. IED attacks are by far the biggest threat to U.S. troops in Afghanistan, responsible for an estimated 80% of injuries and deaths in the southern area of the country are from IEDs. The one that hit Corporal Jimenez was set off with a command wire that stretched to a nearby field and was activated with a motorcycle battery. Corporal Eric Hopp of 1st Platoon Fox Company, 2nd Battalion, 6th Marines, rushes to aid Corporal Manuel Jimenez seconds after an IED blast hit him while returning along Route Marcy from their patrol far into the northern area of their AO from their base near the Chorcherry Bazaar in western Marja, Helmand Province, Afghanistan, Sunday, August 1st, 2010.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In.
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 Okay.
I have not. Is this 72, 5, 6, and 6, 8? I skipped it. Corporal Manuel Jimenez.
No, wrong.
Nope. They're numbered wrong. Hold on. You're on 8033. Is that what we're on? Okay. Sorry. The Great Recession plummeted housing prices in Chicago's southern suburbs, forcing the local government to raise property taxes to make up for losses. That drove away many families, especially those that depended on jobs in factories that closed starting in the mid-'80s. The story helps explain a well-worn pattern of deindustrialization, poverty, and the legacy of segregation in
That's just one.
in
Keep going.
suburbs such as Dalton.
It needs to be worked on more.
The Rio Grande Valley in Texas is the U.S. Border Patrol's busiest sector, accounting for 40% of 467,000 apprehensions of illegal crossers along the entire 2,000-mile U.S.-Mexico border, the Texas Tribune reported in July 2018. Migrants risk their livelihoods in search of a better life. Border Patrol agents lawfully tasked to protect the U.S. border risk tense situations while often saving lives. Residents, many of bicultural backgrounds, are caught in the middle. This essay focuses on the Rio Grande Valley and the risks and challenges faced by migrants entering the U.S. illegally, the authorities, thus residents.
Out.
Out.
Okay.
In the 1980s, the steel industry that built Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and still dominated its economy entered a death spiral. Now, over 30 years later, the city has survived its deindustrialization, but the small towns where the majority of the region's steel mills were located are still struggling with unemployment, a decimated tax base, and a crumbling infrastructure. While Pittsburgh celebrates its rebirth, many of the communities that made it an industrial titan remain on life support, and the residents wonder if their American dream still exists.
Out.
In.
Let's keep it in.
We'll keep it for now. Okay.
Ahmad and Dunya al-Haik came to Ohio as refugees from Iraq in 2011 with their two daughters, Dima and Maryam. Their son, Musa, was born in Ohio in 2013. The couple have been careful to keep Iraqi and Muslim traditions as a strong part of their lives in Ohio. They also understand that their kids are growing up in America and will inevitably take on pieces of American culture. Ahmed and Dunya believe that raising their children with the best pieces of each world will give them more advantages in life.
Out.
In.
Did I hear a duplicate?
Out.
Okay, so out.
In.
Out.
Out.
The Palomilla, Spanish for flock of doves, were groups of young Mexican men who banded together for solidarity and protection in the 1900s. They were the precursors to the Latino gangs of the American Southwest. Pueblo, Colorado has seen the loss of over 5,000 steel manufacturing jobs, and gangs have become a reality faced by Pueblo's youth. The city now has over 2,000 gang members. Statistics reveal the brutal nature of Pueblo's streets, but this violent behavior is learned over time and adopted by necessity. Young boys and girls, both innocent and vulnerable, turn to the gangs for camaraderie and purpose.
Out.
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 Okay, let's tab through these, please. And where was our recusal?
The first one for me.
Okay.
I have one.
You have one.
This one.
Okay. So let's go back to 1-3. There was conflict with this in discussion earlier. Does this still merit further discussion?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's remove 1-3. Let's go to the lost limb military storage. Doing this because we have a
I think
refusal.
this is a great story.
Yeah, I
I
think you
mean,
should stay in.
Okay.
So the photographer was on a foot patrol. Do you want me to go further?
Well, no, I just
Oh.
making sure
No,
because of the
I think it's worthy of discussion.
I think it's worthy of discussion.
Right. So let's tab through them all again.
So, Boiselle, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, let me talk about that a little bit because I know this area, and when you think about Pittsburgh and its revival, it really does speak to what's happening with the economy downtown. You know, Pittsburgh is not the gritty city that it used to be. It's a white collar town, but I have yet to see an essay that really speaks to the communities that were left behind. Now, does this effectively do it? That's up for discussion, but that's why this essay speaks to me. So.
And keep in mind that we have to get it to a point, and then we have to cut the live stream. So, does this merit discussion in that scenario?
Yes.
I hear one. I hear two.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Go 6-8, please.
Yes.
I hear a yes on
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Let's go to
Yes.
6-3. Is this going to merit discussion in?
It's out for me.
Can you go down to the bottom, please, and just give me the caption of 23?
Yep. Melissa brings in an emoji-themed birthday cake to celebrate what would have been Lola's 14th birthday. The family sings happy birthday to Lola. Photo taken on September 24th, 2018.
Okay, thank you.
So does this merit discussion? Final round.
Doesn't quite make it for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. I've got a third over here that says no. Okay. So, does this merit discussion in the final round?
Yes.
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 Okay. So, stay tuned Tuesday night for the Best of Photojournalism, NPPA. I think I'm going to online sign off now. Thanks to NPPA and the University of Georgia for being wonderful and gracious hosts. Thanks to our judges, Michael McCarter, Alyssa Shukar, Boiselle Hosey, Gabriella Demzuk, and Younghee Kim. And to our wonderful staff, volunteers that are here. Tune in on Tuesday for Cliff Edom, and we will continue rolling with the video that you can view on Tuesday.